Hi, my name is Alyn Jones. I'm the Exec Director at Somerset Council, and I'm here today at this Civica Solace event looking at data and personalisation. The benefit for me for this discussion this morning is there's a number of common themes across all organisations around how we use data, how we collect the right sort of data to make the right type of decisions, and how we're using data to drive those decisions, and thinking differently about, rather than just data-based decisions, but really using insight and evidence in a really creative way to think about how we can solve those big, challenging, wicked problems in our communities. And that's one of the real takeaways for me today. So one of the really interesting topics for conversation this morning was starting to move away from more traditional ways of measuring success and performance, and thinking differently about how we develop our performance management regimes, moving away from that key performance indicator approach and thinking differently about what are we trying to achieve and what's our role, and thinking around is one of our goals around creating those resilient communities rather than a particular intervention or output, but thinking differently about those outcomes so we're ready to be dynamic and thinking about we only have a certain amount of influence in our community. So one of the key things I think is always creating the space to have that bigger conversation, to try and learn from others, to have that kind of stimulating, challenging often conversation, thinking differently about how we approach those problems. If we continue to do the same things the same way and think that we know all the answers, the benefit of having the conversation with Civica and Solace today is that brigading of different ideas and different thoughts. So by having that bigger conversation, we can change our approach to how we deliver our day-to-day operations, but we're only going to change those day-to-day operations if we buy ourselves the time and the right to have the bigger conversation.